met in high school, we've been together for 23 years, and he swears to me, tell me if this is the same for you, my husband swears that he does not watch porn. His always cleared browser history tells a very different tale. He says that the only way that he can get off is by watching the two of us do it together instead of some dirty strangers. Aww. He's basically manipulated me into filming our entire sex life. And we've been together since we were teenagers, so the library is huge. But now, anytime I come home from work early and I see that the VCR has been dusted off, an old VHS tape, one of our classics, has been popped in from the early days, I realize he's been getting off to child porn. It's a rough technicality. Yeah, but here's the thing, I was hesitant to make those videos early on, right? I felt like, oh, I'm fat. And I looked back and I was like, I'm gonna watch one of these old videos. I pop it in recently. I looked amazing. It was like there was no gravity, you know? And now I feel like it is my mission to go out to these young women and tell them, you are beautiful, your body is incredible, and you need to make a sex tape now. You will not regret it. Let's do it, she said. You are, well, best decade of your life is coming up. Sweet. So a few years later, we decided to make a real classic, and I was like, you know what I want to make? I want to make a sex tape right now while I am 9.5 months pregnant. Best time to do it, for sure. Here's the deal, when you were that pregnant, there's only one position that works. I would have to get on top, right? So I set up the camera, I waddle over, and I get on top, and I look over, and I do not fit in the viewfinder. And I giggle, right? I'm like, ah, that's so funny. Do you know what happens when you are a good 42 weeks pregnant, 2 weeks overdue, and you giggle just a little bit, and there's a cock inside of you? Do you know what happens next? She does. She knows what happens next. You pee. You pee. I did. I peed all over this poor, wonderful man. I did. But do you know what happens when you laugh harder because you're peeing? I'm gonna tell you, you know what happens next? After you pee, while there's a cock inside of you and you're a good 10 million centimeters dilated, the next thing that will happen is you poop. All I did, all over this incredible love of my life. Human. I'm gonna tell you something. Bob Saget would have loved that home video. I could have won $10,000 with that puppy, for sure. Here's the deal, that ended up triggering me to laugh so hard, and when you are that hormonal, okay, you're about to have a baby and you've pooped and peed all over the love of your life, while there's a cock inside you, do you know what happens next? You burst into tears. Absolutely, and I sat there sobbing hysterically on this good man. I'm gonna tell you something, you know what he did? The entire time, 100% of the time, this man was kind, understanding, and hard as a rock. That is a keeper! Yes. And now I know what porn he is not watching. Shakes its head. You're with me. We now have a 10-year-old daughter, which is a great age, just because I feel like they're cute, but she's sort of straddling childhood, you know? And she bursts out of the bathroom the other day, screaming at the top of her lungs, "Mommy, I think I just got my very first period." I was like, oh, are you sure? So I, have her pull down her pants, I take a look, and I was like, congratulations, that is a period. And she says, are you sure? And I was like, well, I'm hoping it's not a miscarriage. Do you want me to explain that? You guys are fun. Thank you. I like groans, those are my favorite reactions. Yeah, it's good. What else? So we also I'm kind of prone to loud sex, which I think is incredibly scarring to do to a child. The worst thing is them, seeing you, but also hearing it down the hall is just as bad. So I came up with this great new tactic. If I ever get really, really loud, as soon as I'm done, I throw my t-shirt back on and I burst into their rooms and I go, "What was that noise?" Did you get that one? They're so much fun. I did run into an old friend of mine that I haven't seen since college. It's always interesting when you run into people forever and see how they turn out in life, right? Because back in college, we were inseparable twinsies, right? Like same everything, all right? We were same major, same sorority, same semester we both got pregnant. That summer, she had a beautiful baby girl. I backpacked Europe. I mean, what? Her mistake cost her $15,000 every year since college. Mine cost me $400. And I can tell by your silence, it may have cost me an eternity in hell. That joke kills in Atlanta.